So there's some information going down at the moment about the Schumann's resonance, which is vibrations coming from the sun, and it's been picked up many different countries by these instruments that they found that can pick up the resonance of the sun, and then you'll see a correlation between what happens with humanity's electricity and so forth, and even consciousness compared to what these sunspots are, or sun flares are sending out vibrations to Earth. Now, just recently, there's been one that looks a bit like DNA, or a very strong pattern that's coming through. That is only in Russia. That was, I asked my guides for truth, to be led to the truth for that, and I was led to this. I'll put a link in below of the person that I was led to, and he did all the science and looked up all the other different countries that were capturing the Schumann resonance, and it was pretty much only in Russia. I think there was another weird one that happened in another country as well, but mainly in Russia. And so that being said, yeah, Russia only has their CERN, giant hadron collider machine going on there, and they're sending out vibrations. So that, I have a feeling it's more to do with, although very synchronistic in the fact that we're coming closer and closer into source energy, I do have a feeling through my being led or guided to that guy's posting video, YouTube, that it's mainly Russia meddling a little bit, and it's coming back as these patterns where one pattern will be meeting another, and so it's kind of showing up as these patterns on the Schumann's resonance. But there is something else that they were bringing up as well that I wanted to share with you, and that was when I was woken up by a Palladian. This is back in 2010, and a Palladian came to me in my dream, and then ended up doing this really weird thing with me, where he placed his forehead on my forehead, and then he started to chant a low vibration sound, and it vibrated so much that I was waking up out of the dream, and my body was shaking to this vibration. So he would chant, and then he'd turn his head, and then he would speak his own language, and it's like he's bringing in some other information, and then he would put his forehead on my forehead. And the only one I can remember that he started with was Ra, and then he chanted these symbols, sounds through me, and he did that 5 times. And I'm now getting this message that to wake up humanity, that we might be woken with 5 powerful vibrational sound resonances, or something happening over a certain amount of time. And that could happen as well. But I do feel that this one at the moment, being that it's just Russia and not the whole world, that it was just something that Russia was meddling with their great big hadron collider thing, CERN thing. So I'm no scientist. I'm just channeling this information through. This is the information I'm getting through, and what I was led to. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson, and I will be your guide for today. So today I'm going to give you some really interesting messages that I've been channeling through, and also some dreams that I've been having. And I think there's something going on. within the equilibrium of humanity's consciousness is what they said. And it is leading us or guiding us back to love of self, source energy, so that we can start afresh, a whole new game here. And we're literally going through the eye of the needle. There was a couple of things that they've brought up with this, so I want to bring them up with you guys. First up, they kept saying to me over and over again, we are grounding your soul, we are grounding your soul. And that means that the soul is, you know, it's the energy of everything. And it is, from our perspective, the creation that we're creating. It is source energy, God, prime creator. It is love. And to ground that more into this physical form, to acknowledge it, is to bring ourselves to the awareness of how much value we really are, and to love and nurture ourselves fully as ordinary people going on a journey. And when you come into understanding that you are just an ordinary person going on a journey, but you are also source energy going on a journey, then you, as an ordinary person, have a lot more capabilities to bring in magic and shift your reality through miracles, and all sorts of things can happen. You're not in the limited contents of the illusion that's been pulled over your eyes by others that are coming from their lack, trying to control you. You're not giving your power away anymore, and you're stepping into what many perceive as the fifth dimension and beyond. So we are becoming the observers of the illusion and the illusion of limitation. And so we can see right through it then. And that means that when somebody does try to push your buttons and try to push you into their limitations, you just go, nah, that's not the way I'm going to go, and you move towards something else. So we are learning to ground more love into our vibration, because the soul is love or source energy going on a journey. And the more that we do this, more that we come into the core of this energy or adventure that humanity's consciousness has gone on, where we've learned all about the right hemisphere through Atlantis Lemuria age, and all about the logical hemisphere through these ages just gone, and coming into center, into just light, just love. But to meet that, we have to see it within ourselves. We have to understand that's what we are. And it's like coming back to a 0 point, so that we can completely release all of the journey that we've been on, and then move into the next divination, they're saying, next journey, next exploration, next adventure, whatever we decide upon, or through source energy decides upon, which is who we are anyway. So to ground one's soul more into this experience is to come back into self-love. So they kept on saying that you're grounding your soul, you're grounding your soul. And these can be, if we don't understand them on a level of awareness through our daily life, they can come into our dreams, and messages can come through our dreams of taking our power back. And I, at the moment, I'm quite often seeing myself amongst a big crowd just going, I don't care anymore. I used to fly in my dreams in the past, and I would be hiding the fact, like making sure not everyone could see me, because I didn't want to stand out. And now I'm just like, I don't care anymore. And I'm flying in front of everyone. And because I trust that even if I came against the most so-called powerful person, they're no more powerful than what I am. And so it doesn't worry me anymore to be seen. And also flying means that you are above your problems, above your issues. You're the observer of your reality. It also gives you the power of freedom, and that you can go beyond this limited illusion of or concept of what reality is. So flying dreams are magnificent. They are you coming into more of your power. Yeah, so I've been given a lot of that lately, and that, along with the feeling that source energy is going through us. I have to admit, I had a reading, and I haven't had a reading for 2 years, but I just went, that's it. I'm having a reading by this amazing lady. I'll find her name. And she, to me, was one of the best tarot readers. So, yeah, the reading was incredible, and where I'm going is amazing. So it is due to the fact that I know that I'm creator of my own reality. And a couple of years ago, when I did have a big downfall, tower moment from breaking up from a pretty bad relationship, I just went into myself and found my power. And when I found that power, that magnificence, and who I really was, I started to imagine what that powerful person within me wanted to do on earth while I was alive. And it's really interesting that I went into hermit stage myself, and I was completely in line with the whole of humanity going into hermit stage in 2020. And then I was just coming out, and when I came out of it, it was really interesting that when I came out of it, so did humanity. And it's like every time I seem to have something of, oh my God, a shift within myself, it's like it's reflected outward in humanity's consciousness. And then you ask yourself, or you go down that really dark, deep rabbit hole of, am I the only one that exists? And this is my creation. And in a sense, it is, because your perspective is creating your own reality. And you might be joining in with other people's consciousnesses to create or carve this reality, but they're all going on their own separate journey and exploring through their life in their own way. And there's no wrong or right in how somebody explores or has their adventure. There's no wrong and right on, even if we do lose ourselves completely, as we did, because there's always valuable lessons in losing oneself and finding out the true value of connection to source energy when we come back, and what that value really means. Bringing back the feminine power, allowing ourselves to bring in our imagination and use it correctly, not to allow somebody else to take our imagination and program it to their own desires through their own lack of where they're coming from. So this is all about realigning with the power of the feminine self. And even though the masculine self was very powerful in an outer way, physically built, powerful to be able to navigate through this life and, do the physical work. That's why males are born with the muscles to be able to dig the holes and, build everything and have a lot more physical strength. But the power of the females is the inner power and the connection to source energy. And that's where the magic comes in. And so our power of bringing in the unusual, the magic, the wisdom, connection to higher beings, being telepathic and telekinetic and all of that is all very feminine based, because we have to come into a core value or core knowing of our self-worth to be able to align ourselves with our soul, to allow that love to show us a different path. And anything that's residing or held in our imagination is something that can be taken back as power from within. It doesn't have to be from a device outside of ourselves. That's what logic's trying to the logical masculine side is, it can only create something outside of itself. And it's using snippets of the imagination to carve something outside of itself that can be easily controlled by another person. If you have it coming from the inner core value of your balanced mind, pineal gland will then start to open up, and then you have many, many gifts coming through via somatic vibrational patterns from your own awareness of the value of who you are and the magic that you hold within your imagination, being grounded and knowing that it is for real. This is truth. We can step into different realities, gain wisdom. Our physical body might or might not come. It depends on if our physical body is in alignment with all of that, then yes, we will be able to teleport, but we have to be able to be in alignment with it physically, and grounded in our logical mind has to agree with that for that to happen. So there's all this interesting, valuable information coming through for humanity's consciousness to evolve into something more. And the crumbling away of that was out of balance, it will no longer resonate with people anymore. People will start to wake up and see through that, the ones that are making all the rules are taking all the wealth and abundance, and then they will start to realize that they have been taken for a ride, and they will see through the illusion that they were tricked into giving their power away to somebody else. But anyone who gives their power away to someone else is at the mercy of that person's controlling. And we can say, but we have faith and trust in our leaders. But do we, when those leaders are coming from their own imbalance, when they're not connected to their soul and they don't allow themselves to feel the spiritual connection of love within themselves, which it would be empowered, they would then be empowered from within, and then they no longer need to seek to control others outside of them to give them value. So the new leaders that will be appointed will be those that have found balance within themselves, and those ones will end up bringing in a new era for humanity's consciousness to develop something totally different. But it'll only be them as a guide, not as a leader, as in controlling others. It'll just be as, that person learned how to do that themselves. And so that means that I can, because we're all the same. We're all physical bodies going on a journey, and in the inner core of ourselves is our feelings or our vibrational meat of how magnificent or not magnificent we are. And so anything can be shifted from a feeling point of view just through your own perspective of who are you and how do you feel about yourself. And I think that's one of the valuablest questions that we can ask ourselves now is, who are you and how do you feel about yourself? Are you ready to take the reins into carving and creating the path that you truly desire? Or are you still feeling vulnerable about yourself, that you don't trust who you are to carve that path, and you're trusting somebody outside of you to tell you how to do it? But when we go through the eye of the needle and come back to source energy or love of self, we're going to have to shed all of those illusions of the story that had happened in the past. stop focusing on the things that we don't wish to come in, and bring in or focus in on the things that we really love to see in this world. And then that will carve the path. That will that bring me to a message of we are just a consciousness going on a journey, and when we decide of what we actually want, other people's consciousnesses come in and fill that space. And so then we get the help that we need to move into this new, carving this new path on Gaia, that we collectively collaborate through, not just through words or babble or, you know, our mouth, but also through feeling and understanding each other from a core value of feeling them. Even a word has a feeling with it. That's the reason why you can understand me, because the word itself has a feeling with it. When I say good, you have a certain feeling. It's only your feeling and how you come across from that feeling, but it is a feeling that comes with it. If I say bad, it has another certain feeling with it. Exactly the same with anything, a cup of tea, a statue. As soon as I say those words, an elephant, you have a feeling that goes with it. But if you can feel those feelings of somebody before they actually speak the words, then you are telepathic, and you are connected at a soul core level with that person, and understanding them through frequency. And there's actually a lot more value in that, because any word can be spoken, but the true message is the feeling or the vibration that the person's trying to project. And that means all lies and deceptions go out the window. And we are just here to explore something together. And we then resonate with specific people, beings, plant life, animal life, Gaia, stars, whatever. We resonate with certain vibrations through our own self-awareness. And then we gather more wisdom from that, and we can collaborate and work together in cooperation, because we know where each other has what piece of the puzzle each other has. In other words, what gift each other has and what they can align and bring in. And there's no waiting for them to prove that. They just either have it and you feel it off them, or they don't. That's why when we come into telepathy, we come into compassion. Yes, all of that I'm saying, though, is of true value to what's actually going on in humanity's consciousness at the moment, which is huge, as we're coming into the center of this Taurus energy. And we are going to reboot, restart, come into 0 point, and then out into something completely different here, with from an alignment of humanity's consciousness. Don't forget, on Thursday, I'm going to have another channel message coming through, or my channel messages coming through. I also have a talk with Natalie coming up, where she's going to be asking me some questions, and we'll see what else comes out. Because sometimes just talking like this, yes, they give me a lot of messages, but it's nice to have somebody actually having a conversation or asking the questions. I've been waiting for somebody to come into my life if that could do that, and I feel Natalie is the person. So we will be adding that to my channel and doing a bit more on her channel that she's creating as well. She's just started, and so she's a brilliant, amazing person, full of curiosities, and it'll work in well, I'm sure, with where we're going here. So till the next channel message, bye.